In my last video, I showed you basic combo moves to do on every character available to us in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth demo, and the full game is coming out today of course, but before we begin our long-awaited gaming session, I wanted to show you some useful tips and tricks that you can use when the full game comes out. So let's start with the things that will apply to every combat encounter. Unless you are in a predetermined boss battle, you can use square in order to attack enemy right away, preferably before he sees you, and you're gonna get the first strike. The next thing you should do in battle is use the assess materia, because it will show you the weakness of the enemy, what is he weak against and how to stagger it easily, and other useful tips most likely. And if you happen to encounter the same type of enemy again in the game, you're just gonna press the touchpad and you're gonna have all the statistics pop out instantly. After you use any ATB generated ability in the game or spell, instantly switch over to another party member. Because while looking at the spells and ability is pretty, it's better to use this time in order to queue up another attack or just auto attack to be able to fill the ATB gauge of another party member quicker. So in short, after you use your ATB on a spell, ability or item, switch over to another party member and start dishing out damage or use another ability. That will save you precious seconds on every encounter and be able to, for example, pressure the enemy faster. In my previous video I also mentioned the synergy attacks by pressing R1, and remember that this automatically puts you in guard mode. Those synergy attacks are a new thing in Rebirth that are very important to master, because doing those moves together usually fill the ATB bar quicker for both of your characters and you'll be able to do actions more quickly. And remember that those R1 attacks do not consume anything and you can use them indefinitely. And they are a very good way to build up yours and your party members' ATB bar quicker. And those often also provide some good utility. For example, Tifa does not have inherently any way to get into the air except her abilities, but using the synergy with Cloud or Barret, she can go into the air through it and then you can continue her combo. It's also nice to use with Red 13 because he will often build up his vengeance bar this way. Speaking of Tifa, if you want to bring down a staggered enemy quickly, she is the only character in the game currently that can use her unbridled strength and then press triangle to execute her combo that does more damage to staggered enemies, and you can bring them down very quickly this way. So when you see the enemy being close to being staggered, remember to queue up unbridled strength and then use this triple combo with triangle in order to inflict massive damage on a staggered enemy with Tifa. Speaking of ATB bars, do not exhaust every single one of your resources right away if you can help it, because having at least one ATB bar on someone ready is very useful when you need this clutch heal or something else. So try to keep one ATB bar on one of your party members at all times for critical situations. Remember that in the full game we will find new weapons, and those weapons will have an ability tied to them. And this ability, when mastered, will remain in your arsenal forever. So if you find a new weapon that might seem lower damage or worse than your previous one, look at the ability it has, because if it's good, you might want to master it and then swap to the newer weapon. If you want a faster paced combat, you might want to learn shortcuts that you bring out with pressing L1. Here you can put spells, abilities or whatever you want in the shortcut bar, so you can go through combat quicker with your favorite abilities. The final combat tip I'm going to give you is to not treat Final Fantasy VII Rebirth like a pure action game or a Dark Souls game. You don't have to dodge or block everything. Abilities and spells are often way more important than trying to avoid every single bit of damage. Try to be more tactical and treat the game like an RPG with a dynamic turn-based system, not a full action game like FF16 was. And now some out-of-combat tips, beginning with materia setup and items. At its core, Rebirth is an RPG more than an action game in my opinion, so items and materia are very important, and reading what each of them does will help you greatly to succeed. For example, I consider the first strike materia to be almost mandatory on most characters, as it will let you start combat with an ATB bar almost full and let you use abilities like assess or buff yourself right at the start of combat, which might prove very useful. Now, party composition. This game definitely wants to make you familiar with every of the character's combat abilities. For example, Red 13 is great on the ground and deals massive damage with a powerful moveset and can also be a great tank, not to mention siphon life from enemies. However, he doesn't really have an airborne attack, so he isn't the best at fights like the boss from the demo, who is constantly in the air, so swapping him out for Barret, Aerith or even Tifa can be beneficial in situations like this. And remember that you can easily swap characters in the field by pressing X and then R1 and L1 to juggle between your pre-made party compositions. And also try to keep all of your party members decently equipped, so you can change them on the fly and specialize them in various ways so you're prepared for any situation. It can also be useful when one of your party members is low on health or MP, because you can swap him to a fully healed party member and wait until you find a bench or another healing source so you can get him back on track. And last but not least, something that might seem very simple but in my opinion is very important. Read everything you can on the game, every materia, every weakness of the enemy, and everything you can find in the menu, because it will help you a lot out there. I can guide you in the right direction hopefully, but understanding the game will make you a better player all by yourself. So read what your abilities do, read the materia, read all the tooltips you can find, and that will make you better at combat the most. And this would be all for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I cannot wait for the full game to come out today and bring you even more useful guides. Let us enjoy this game together, and don't forget to visit me on my live streams on Twitch TV Kenra, where I will be going through the whole game and hopefully make some more interesting videos for all of you. Feel free to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you again very soon. See ya!